Hey guys, Bart from TST Industries here. Today in the shop we have a Yamaha FZ-10 and we will be performing the installation of the Womet-Tech frame sliders. These components are CNC machined out of billet aluminum and shock absorbent Delrin, and they decrease the chance of extensive damage in case your bike does go down. So the installation is pretty simple. It'll take roughly 5 minutes. Follow along and let's get started. All right, so in step one, we will be removing the motor bolt from the frame to motor connection right here in this location. This is a 10mm Allen wrench. I'm using a breaker bar because these are typically set pretty tight from the factory. And once I break it loose, I'm going to switch over to my ratchet. And finish removing the bolt. All right, now this guy's out. I have to make an important note. You only want to do one side at a time. You don't want to unbolt both the front mounts off the motor, because then the motor will have a chance to droop down and then your threads will not align. All right. So you grab your longer set and you insert it into the hole and start threading it in. Before I do that, I want to show you guys how this is constructed in case you drop it and it becomes disassembled. So you have the bolt and a spacer over the bolt, and then your puck. Once you bottom it out, the spacer goes on. Now this is ready to install. Now this is going to be a 19mm socket head. I like to get the thread seated by hand before I use any tools to make sure I've aligned the thread properly and I'm not going to cross thread it. I'll grab my ratchet and then bottom out that screw. Once you bottom it out, you will need a torque wrench set to 38 foot-pounds, and then you will tighten this bolt to 38. All right, so this side's done. I'm gonna grab one of the cosmetic caps and press it in. All right, it's that simple. Let's hop on over to the other side and complete this installation. The removal of the right side bolt will require an 8mm Allen. Once again, I'm going to be using a breaker bar. And then switch over to my ratchet. On this side, in this assembly, you have a set of spacers that have to be put in place after the bolt's been removed. And this cone spacer doesn't really hold itself in place, so we're going to hold on to it as we grab the shorter set, and we'll replace that spacer on the new bolt and insert that in. I should probably show you guys how this is configured. You have a thinner spacer here on this bolt, and then the puck, and then there's a smaller spacer on this side. And now we'll put the cone spacer on, insert it, and I'm going to grab my 19mm socket and try to align that thread. All right. I'm going to bottom it out. And once again, tighten it down to 38 foot-pounds with my torque wrench. and finish it off with a nice cosmetic cap. All right, so in about 5 minutes, we're able to install these parts on the bike without any fuss, and installation was really simple. It only required a couple tools. I gotta say, guys, I can vouch for these myself, as I crash tested them in a couple of my wrecks on my race R1. They are actually the same part as we use on the R1, and they were extremely effective at protecting my bike against undue damage that would have occurred had I not had these installed. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hit subscribe, leave us some comments. We like hearing from you guys. We do our best to reply to your comments in a timely fashion, so don't hesitate. I hope that you will check out our website, tstindustries.com, and we'll see you there.